Alright, good evening ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back for the semi-finals now of the ESL PaySafeCard Go4Dota 2 Cup. This semi-final is going to be, make sure I get this all correct, 5 pencils and 1 case going up against NOTROLL. Interesting to note, NOTROLL actually kicked out Spin to win in the previous game. Certainly one of the big favourites in this tournament, and coming up later it looks like we're probably going to have either Hehe or the quarterfinal winners we caught last time, Denzel. Now I'm going to be joined in this cast by Maestro, and I'm going to be joining him right now.
Channels.
Maestro, how you doing, mate?
10
Yo.
seconds to go.
What do you think of the draft so far?
5 seconds.
You know, it's kind of casual ban. I'm not sure about Beastmaster.
Reserve
However,
time.
it might as soon as 5 pencils start showing some of their picks, it might, you know, pick up the pace, and we'll see why they bat that Beastmaster. But Batrider, kind of casual first pick. It's nothing surprising. Storm second ban. There's lots of good Storm players out there. Maybe they've been doing their homework, and there's a particularly good Storm player on 5 pencils, 1 case. You never know.
Quite possible. I didn't see them pick it up in the previous game. I don't think it was even banned. But certainly, you know, if you've got your bat and you want to be kind of taking advantage of that
Pick.
roaming, ganking, you know, kind of pounce on people kind of strategy, then having a Storm on the enemy team, they're doing the same thing to you. Things can get very, very messy. So I like locking them down like that. But 5 pencils, 1 case. Take the 2 pick in a row to go for the IO Tiny combo. Very resistant to Batrider, and of course great as well for IO to relocate Tiny in if Batrider tries to go on anyone else. I really like that combo. What about you?
Seconds to go.
Like,
5
I can see
seconds.
now why they banned the Beastmaster, because of course you don't want to be relocating into some Raw which is going to split the IO and the Tiny up and keep one of them locked in position for a good, 4 seconds, 3 seconds?
Mm-hmm.
So to combat that, they've gone and picked Queen of Pain, which is going to be an absolute pain for IO especially, and then Tiny will start getting grumpy as soon as his IO instantly dies.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, Tiny, you know, he's a good carry. He can certainly do crazy things when he goes late game. You don't see him picked up that often, though, because he's a little bit, I don't know, not exactly squishy. He's got Craggy, he's got decent nuke. The Ags, of course, is nice, but I don't know, compared to a lot of other late game carries, he doesn't have the crit, he doesn't have the split shot, he doesn't have anything to...
Radiant
He's just got his cleave
ban.
going for him, I suppose, as a carry ability, and it's sketchy, I think, running an IO Tiny, because if you're right, the IO gets shut down, Tiny's going to struggle. He's not going to be able to farm solo, and he's not going to be able to get ganks.
10
The Queen of
seconds
Pain pickup
to go.
certainly goes well with the Batrider as well. I mean, could you ask for anyone better, really? They're going to have such
5
great blink coverage.
seconds.
And they really are just going to control the mobility in this game, looking at their bans as well, banning out Storm,
Reserve
Clockwork,
time.
and Puck. Those are all heroes who can kind of make life a pain if you're trying to snag someone away from the rest of his team. The AA that banned, though, I'm not too sure about that. What do you think that was illegal?
Well, AA banning IO,
Dyer's
Like-
pick.
because otherwise IO can heal anything, and 2 strength heroes versus AA is never much fun anyways.
And the
So-
Earthshaker?
I think it's just to stop them from slamming into IO and Tiny when they relocate in, but I honestly would think they'd have banned something more like Disruptor, because that fits in nicely with Batrider as well with the Disable. So maybe it's just
10 seconds
Yes, sir.
to go.
you go.
I was going to say, I'm just glad you brought up Disruptor, because to me, the
5
two that you got to watch out for are
seconds.
Disruptor, for, as you said, glimpse someone back, and also the Witch Doctor, because Cask is
Reserve
just so
time.
OP against the IO Tiny combo. But no, Earthshaker, I guess I can see what they're thinking. I just agree with you. There were better choices for the ban.
Yeah.
The Skywrath pickup, though, very, very powerful against, certainly against the Quack.
Both.
Yeah, the Batrider.
Yeah.
And Batrider, I think ideally you want to be leaping on them and then dragging them out. You don't need to be casting too many spells, but certainly a silence makes him very vulnerable to being ganked. You know, can no longer just fly away, scoot over some trees. What do you think the next picks up are here for Dyer? I mean, honestly, I think you're right. It kind of should be the Disruptor.
I mean, hell, we might even see a drone lineup, looking at the way the Dyer's picks are going, because it kind of works versus Tiny, unless, like, you know, Tiny Blink or this IO is an extraordinarily good relocator.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can see that.
What's your opinion on Dro with some of these heroes? Because there's no tank in that lineup, which kind of ruins the whole effect of it. But
Yeah, I mean, I suppose you could always try and go somewhere. They do go for the disruptor.
there's Disruptor.
Yeah.
Radiant's
You could always try and do something with like a Wraith King support and try and get a bit of tank on. But it will be one of those. You've got to outplay them. You've got really nice added damage for the Queen of Pain and the Bat Rider. That's great for your cause. You've just got to all your eggs in one basket though. You have to kite them. If they do get close, you're mincemeat. Next pick coming out here for 5 pencils. I really think they need to make sure they've got some support, either in the some lockdown. I'm thinking either like a Tide Hunter maybe in the off lane, something along those lines.
Yeah, it's either Tide Hunter or Lina. So
Lina I can see. Not great for the lockdown. They've still got that slot to fill, but it gives them some nice range right click. Combos really well with the IO if Tiny's farming somewhere else.
Not to mention Skyrath Lina lanes.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you just, I'm gonna be led to believe that it's IO Tiny mid, but then again that's IO Tiny mid into Quap. It's gonna be kind of a weird game wherever they put IO and Tiny, but Lina Skyrath Mage's burst is gonna be
deadly,
quite sickly for Bat Rider offlane.
And they do go for the Wraith King. I do have a 2-minute delay on just for anybody who's watching the stream. There's no way they're picking this up, but yeah, Wraith King picked up. I like that as well, also because it could be the position 1. It's one of those kind of you don't quite know yet. So do you ban a support? Do you ban out a core? It's iffy. I think they got to ban out a core though, because the most dangerous way this could go.
I don't think they need a
5 seconds.
carry Wraith King.
But I mean, they ban out a core, it's still open to 5 for the Dire Story to pick up the Witch Doctor. And that gives them great lockdown, another great counter to the Inis IO. And the Wraith King can farm perfectly well. He doesn't really go toe-to-toe against Tiny late, but they'd have decent counters for the Tiny in other places. I don't know.
I think it would be a weird game to put Wraith King as a core, because there's just so much like burst on 5 pencils. Like even you have Avalanche with a Skyrath silence, and he's dead once. In say the earlier stages of the game, I'm thinking 20 minutes. Avalanche toss with a silence, and he's dead for the first time, and then you got Lina to just back it up for the second life.
I guess it depends on how quickly he tanks up, because to me it looks like by the time a position 1 needs to be doing things, it will more be the case of you get the Tiny nukes, you get the Skyrath nukes, you get the Lina nukes. That might kill him the first time, and it would all be wasted by the time he came back. But you're right, it depends on how quickly he tanks up, can actually be ready to take part in this. He's certainly vulnerable to being killed lots early. That's always a downside for Wraith King.
Yeah, exactly. If Wraith King dies more than twice early, maybe even just the once, he's not a flash farm hero compared to IO Tiny. Tiny's gonna have the whole jungle in a minute and then take the Ancients and the jungle in the next minute. Whereas Wraith King's just gonna be hitting away at the same camp with his Midas.
Well, I mean that's once Tiny has Ags. By the time Tiny has Ags, Wraith King could have Mjolnir Midas. Makes it an easy flash farm. Anyway, one way or the other. 5 pencils do go for a support ban. They're more scared of I guess just the survivability of Dazzle's potential to keep everyone alive and amp up any physical damage. Which, as I said, I think I agree with you. I would have banned a core there just in case. But well, I'm not going to call him wrong. And with Dazzle out though, there we go. Dazzle out, Axe pickup. I like that. Get rid of the. Wait, no, that doesn't make sense. Why would they be afraid of Dazzle if they were picking an Axe?
That doesn't make any sense at all.
Yeah. No, I'm confused.
They don't have any particular illusion-based heroes either, so they can't utilize Shadow Wave. It's kind of a weird ban, but
it's a weird ban. I do like the pickup. It's another hero that Bat Rider is going to be a little bit leery about lassoing. He's really just restricted now to IO, Skyrath, Lina. Which isn't a bad selection.
It's going to be a weird Bat Rider game.
But there can't really be a big pick-off on a core. Not unless Axe or Tiny is way out of position.
Yeah, exactly. There's no real physical damage on the Dire unless it's Wraith King core, but even then, Wraith King isn't, terrifying for a lot of this game. So, it's... I think both teams have an equally good draft. It's just going to be who can... Oh, Enigma. So that is the Wraith King core you were dreaming of.
It is, and I think Enigma might be the kind of person you need to make that. I don't know. I agree. You need something else in the late game. Black Hole maybe is the thing you need. We'll see. Looks like a good draft though. I'm looking forward to this game. Just quickly need to update the Twitch because I've just seen that we actually have the old teams written up there. So just give me one moment. That's done. And I'm just waiting for the players to pick up their heroes. It really annoys me when teams go in without assigning their team name. It makes it that little bit harder.
10 seconds to go.
But c'est la vie. When I make it through to the semi-finals of a semi-pro tournament, then I'll complain. Do you want to introduce one of the teams?
Okay, so on the Dire, we have
get ready
Matris
if I
playing the
win
position
you.
1 Wraith King. We've got Cryo J playing Disruptor. Banzi playing the solo mid Quap. Numero 10 playing the Jungle Enigma. And Slave picking up that offlane Batrider.
Rotating out. I don't think we're going to be seeing anything big coming out of Dire in the early game. Looks like they've got 2 heading up to top rune, 2 heading over to the mid. Enigma going to be waiting there to get his first summons off the mid creep wave. And Batrider heading down towards the jungle. Radiant, on the other hand, grouping up a little bit more up near top rune. We're going to have 4 heroes here looking to get a pick off.
It's going to be a... Okay.
Oh, Io. That's not fun. He'll be down again in 5 seconds, but that's not fun.
Just give me a minute.
Quick ping, ping, ping. And while Maestro takes a quick minute, I'll just
30
introduce the
seconds
Radiant
to
team.
battle.
We have Floxblox taking the Axe, Durham taking the Io. We've got Haxi on the Tiny, Biryu on the Skywrath Mage, and finally Never Say No to Otter taking the Lina down to the safe lane. It looks like now. This is a little bit strange. Otter was of course the mid in the previous game on the TA, a game that they won through skill with an early game draft.
Let's begin.
Which just basic one early game, didn't need to worry about outscaling. Banzi takes the top rune from under the noses of the entire Radiant team. I think Tiny just going a little bit too far north there and looking to get rid of the Wraith King and not seeing the Queen of Pain just walking in and getting it exactly where they need. So we are going to be seeing the infamous Io Tiny mid, which makes me happy. It makes me really, really happy. We've got a Hehe in the tournament as well. We're probably going to be seeing them. I'm expecting them to get through to the finals, if I'm honest. And they are also pretty notorious for this kind of play.
You are simply not.
So Durham and Haxi possibly just trying to get some practice in, prove that they're capable of it as well. We've also got an aggressive dual lane coming out from Radiant in the form of Axe and Skywrath Mage heading up top. And Lina going solo against that Batrider, which is going to be a very damage-heavy lane. I'll say that. Really going to come down to Lina landing those skill shots. The right-click battle early game is definitely won by Batrider, just with the sticky napalm stacks. But if Lina can get Light Strike Array down, if she can get Dragon Slave as well, that's almost already enough damage to kill off this Batrider. What's that? You have that and a few right-clicks, and that's a dead Batrider. Let's get the last hits up, see how Queen of Pain is doing up against this Io Tiny dual lane, and it's not too good. 1 kill, 2 denies, gets stunned out here. There's going to be a toss as well. No! Tiny! Where was toss? I think he was possibly waiting there, just trying to sneak a right click in between the 2 abilities. But you know, when you're at level 1 and the duration on the stun is low, and you've got Queen of Pain, who's obviously a blinky hero, it's a bit risky to just sit out and wait that. Floxblox trying to interrupt this Radiant hard pull here. Not going to be successful, but he is going to be able to just eat up the Dire wave. Matrice going to be getting decent farm up here as well. Now, what team did Matrice play for before? Because I know this is I've seen him before somewhere. I'm just trying to place it. Anybody in Twitch chat, please do let me know. I'll check it out on Liquipedia or something. Floxblox phasing Matrice out. I gotta say, with the dual lane and the Axe and the Skywrath Mage, this is going to be a really hard lane for Wraith to get any farm. Sitting on 633 right now, and the fact that he hasn't already gone for boots makes me think he's probably going to be looking to go for a Midas here. And that's not I'm farming so great I can definitely go for a Midas. That's farm's going to be tough. And I'm going to need something. So let's just rush it, and then we've got some farm insurance. Enigma meanwhile in the jungle. doing his Enigma thing. Another nuke drop down on Ban Z. And the other great advantage to running the IO Tiny mid against the Queen of Pain is they get great rune control from it. 2 runes every 2 minutes. And IO's going to be able to pick up every single one of them, because he can just leave Hack Z in lane, causing problems to Ban Z. What Dire really need to do there, I think, is coordinate a rotation from the Disruptor and the Enigma, so that they can catch out this Tiny at one of the points when IO is off down to collect the rune. It's risky, but it's that or lose the lane effectively. The only other option they've got is get Queen of Pain looking kinda dangerous, and then try some ganks. Try to get some kills on other lanes, let them have the IO Tiny, but make it more worth their while. But I honestly think that's the harder option compared to just trying to get a kill on these two. Enigma level 4, IO Tiny level 2, and level 4. So it looks like Black Hole will be up pretty early. Oh, and beautiful job there from Ban Z. I suppose that is the other option. Look for a quick pick off there on the IO. Pushing a little bit too far forward, it seems. And, well, that gets you back in the game. That gets you back in the game nice and fast. Bottle's already on the way out. And actually, I'd be tempted to send that back and put boots on it as well. But hey, I'm not my game. Biryu moving straight in past the Disruptor, but doesn't manage to take the rune off him, and is going to end up taking a huge amount of damage here. The slow on Disruptor is going to prevent the him getting in range of using Glimpse. And while Queen of Pain didn't get that rune, at least Disruptor can say they denied it to the IO. Of course, his bottle is full anyway, what with the quick trip down to Fountain that comes off dying. Not what you want. And
okay, so did you see what happened at the pre-game mark? When they were doing some really fishy stuff, that IO and Tiny. They put him up on the cliff.
Hanging up on the cliff, yeah.
On the Tiny.
I think that was actually a mistake, but then they kind of thought, you know what, let's see if we can do something with this. But they weren't practiced with it, so it didn't work. That was my vibe.
No, because it was Quap that went for the blink, went for the rune even, and then Quap had blink, so they feared that, oh, we're just going to put her on the cliff and then what? Oh, and Flox using Call Up on top does manage to get some decent damage down on Matrice, but Creo J's come in as well. Flox going to have to back off this fairly soon. Matrice coming back in, wants to drop another stun, he gets it. And I think this might be a quick kill coming out here for Dire. That's just what they need on that Wraith King. Enigma coming in from side.
They do manage to catch up Biryu, but he's going to do a decent amount of damage to Creo J, not enough though. And that's another kill. So well played there. Well played from NOTROLL. Who do you feel has got the edge in this game so far?
Pardon?
Who do you feel has got the edge?
It's hard to say. Like, Dire have managed to get themselves a nice little advantage, and I'm not sure why Radiant have decided, oh, let's overextend a little bit. Especially that Axe play on top was just a little bit too greedy.
Oh, Ban Z in real trouble here. Wow. Nuke down in seconds there by the IO Tiny coming up high ground. Sorry, you were saying.
But like, yeah, 5 pencils, 1 case, they still get a nice bit out of playing just passive and not needing to get these ridiculous kills like what's going on at the moment.
And they toss the axe into call, easy kill.
But as we were saying, it's like IO Tiny can just sit back because they've honestly, I think they can win this lane versus the Quap, especially now that she's rotated bot. But now that Tiny's getting some decent levels into him, then they can just sit the IO Tiny mid, and if anyone comes to contest, you know, it's toss Avalanche dead.
Queen of Pain finishing off Lina down on bot lane, going to give a bit of an edge to the bat as they move into their as we move vaguely into the mid game. Like, I normally would be saying 6 minutes was a mid game point, but there's just so many mobile heroes. We got Relocate, we got the Quap Blink, we got Bat Lasso, Glimpse even as well to an extent. Like, it's just going to be a pretty, yeah, it's going to be a bloody game. Queen of Pain's got so many lanes to gank. I think one thing that's a little bit sad though for Dire is they did have to use Scream of Pain and Lasso down on that Lina, and that's going to mean that they just got to wait for about a whole minute before they can really do an effective Queen of Pain gank again, and that's not what they want at all. Aya moving up in support of top. And Biryu dropping obs behind the in the Dire jungle to spot out numero 10. moving in here. But they don't spot him out quickly enough. Floxbox is in line for the glimpse. Gets taken right back to the team. Actually, the massive armor forces a black hole out of numero 10. I don't think that was needed. That is huge. So now Lasso, Scream of Pain, and Black Hole all off cooldown. Now, I don't know what you think about that, Maestro. Like, my general feeling is like you don't want to be scared of wasting Black Hole and Chrono early. You do want to use it, but that just seemed a bit much. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm not sure why you used it there. I mean, if you're going to use Black Hole in the early game, at least use it to lock down Tiny IO, maybe.
Yeah.
Because the Axe kill isn't even worth that much. He didn't even get the kill when they dived the jungle. What's he sitting on at the moment? He's sitting 0-2.
Banzi spotting up Biryu behind mid. One moment, sorry. We get the deeps coming down now. She's got a DD rune as well. There's the blink. The silence comes out, but it's not enough. And she'll be able to blink away from the IO Tiny pretty soon as well.
Radiant's top tower is
Wraith King up on top lane
siege.
having fun.
Radiant has fortified its structures. Dire's bottom tower is under attack. So
Minus
He's
Radiant's
managed to get
top
an
tower is being
extraordinarily
attacked.
fast at us, despite the lane he was in.
Yeah, really
But I
nice
suppose
Midas.
those early over extensions from the Axe.
Yeah, a couple of nice kills there was crucial. Creo J, nuke down on mid, can be finished off really quickly by the Haxi combo. And Matrice with his treads finished up, 350 gold in the bank. What's his next item, do you think? Does he go for the tank, does he go for the BKB, or does he go for a blink now?
Because
he definitely needs a blink this game.
Yeah, Blink is a big one. I mean, he'll probably end up deciding as Relocate is starting to be used, because it depends how active this IO is. It's all kind of on Tiny IO at the moment, because Axe is not doing so great. He's going to have 11-minute blink, maybe 10-minute blink. But it's all down to Tiny IO to make some kind of rotation eventually, especially because IO's now level 7 with 0 relocations.
We're winning. Well,
But if there's no relocations and they're just going to play more passive, then, you know, why doesn't Wraith King play more passive and not go for that blink until he's got another core item?
I can see your point. I think also, I just noticed, but Never Say No to Otto really needs a shout out, because he's done amazingly in terms of CS. We were saying Wraith King, for a large part of the game, has been fairly uncontested. Since he started, as you said, you know, kind of getting a couple of kills on Axe with those overextensions. But Lena's been on top despite going up against Batrider. That's... I'm impressed.
And the gank.
Yeah, that's true.
But it looks like that's going to be happening again.
She's 0-1. There is Skyroth here to support this time. The relocate's coming in as well. Here come IO Tiny. Quap, I think, wisely choosing to get out of that when she saw the relocate. IO Tiny will be, of course, heading back pretty soon. Wraith King pushing out the top lane, even with the tier 1 down. He's happy pushing quite aggressively into Radiant territory. And Flox with a nice blink there from the Tiny. They've practiced that combo before. That was done really nicely. Not sure it's going to be worth it in the end though. Flox taking a lot of damage here from Matrice. The stun is down though, so might be able to TP out, but no. The Black Hole interrupts. Again, he's using it to get these kills. I don't want to say he's wrong, but it's... Oh, Lena again down on bot lane gets picked off. So wow, these fights...
I mean, that was all right because it got fed into the King. Because I believe last time it was an Enigma kill, which, you know, Enigma doesn't really need because he's very good at farming.
Speaking of, he's sitting on about 800 gold away from his... Oh, wait, no, is that mech coming out to him now? Yes, it is. Mech out, so... Blink will be the next item, I think. And that will be in about... 10 minutes, would you say? Or can you put it off quicker?
Around that.
Radiant's bottom tower is
There's no stacks for him to do, all the stacks have already been taken. There's a lot of free farm going on down there for bottom.
How are you doing otherwise?
No one on Radiant seems to be heading that way to take it though. Tiny farming top. I think what Radiant want to do now here is shut down this Wraith King a little bit more. So maybe moving Tiny up to farm this tower, set them up for the push when they want it as well. But it also is a good way to shut down the Wraith King. I'm not sure I agree with the idea though. An engagement on the mid as we get Banzi blinked on by the Axe. Another quick pick off there. This time going to the Lena and Haxi coming in as well. Beautiful blink toss play coming off this Tiny. Like this is a real pleasure to watch. I gotta say, I think Radiant have this, just based on watching how Haxie's been playing this Tiny so far, and knowing how quickly this combination can scale and how devastating it is late game. I mean, he's already 2 items into his Axe. Axe and Skywrath Mage rotating up behind the Wraith King here. Haxie pushing the lane out. Yeah, and they're spotted out by Dire Wards, I think, or possibly just Dire Awareness. We're going to be playing it very, very safely here. But is it safe enough? Matrice hit by the Yules. Going to be eating a Light Strike Array as well. Has plenty of mana for the ult. Could even get a stun off beforehand. Going to be finished off once. And Wraith King's back. Going to be just nuking down Phlox blocks in the middle of that Disruptor ult. Beautiful play there, and they managed to pick off the Lina as well. They're looking for more. And there's a glimpse. Poor Biryu. This is a dead Skywrath Mage. 3 for nothing there for NOTROLL. Just as I was saying that, I felt 5 Pencils had a lead on the game. But yeah, what are your thoughts, Maestro? That was dramatic.
Like as I was saying, it's all these little overextensions. Like I'm not sure why they're going for a pick off at the pull camp when there's still a tier 1 standing, especially on a Wraith King, which is, you know, you've got like 15 seconds to TP in and save his sorry ass. So, and like I could swear they had some vision watching some of the enemy team as well. So I'm surprised. Yeah, they have the aggro ward sitting up in the jungle, which was watching Enigma, which was watching Queen of Pain as the events took place. So I'm not sure whether they were just expecting that Wraith King to be so tanky, but he's only got 5 armor. It's just maybe just a little bit of a mess up in the math coming out from 5 Pencils, 1 case.
I think a bit of a misplay from the Lina there. She was the one who was going for the aggro pools, and you're right, just kind of not what you need to be doing. It's okay to go behind the tower as a team, maybe, or if you've got a proper divey hero. IO Tiny looking to back off to a bit of a safe place and then relocate in. They make it, but a bit of a useless one unless they can pick off this Enigma. There's a stun, and they do manage to get it. Well played. There's a glimpse, it breaks the tether, and Tiny is caught out. Beautiful play there from the Disruptor. He's eating all of the ult, but there is going to be enough time for him to get out as Never Say Otta moves in to cover him and take care of these Eidolons. That was very nice from the Disruptor. Shame the team wasn't a little bit closer there to take advantage. But Banzi almost gets it, but just feeds another kill to this Tiny.
Tiny's now 500 gold from an Aghanims, and 15 minutes is fast for just an Aghanims, but with Blink as well, and, you know, like a casual Bracer pickup, it's looking like there's going to be like a 6-slotted Tiny bashing on their front door at 40 minutes, maybe even 35 if we're lucky.
It's scary business. Really scary business. If they can just hold back on these overextensions, just go take tier 1, Radiant. Just go take tier 1. Siege. Nice and calmly. Stroll up, take it, leave. Easy peasy.
I'm not sure why they're not utilizing this Rider Blink so much though. He's just kind of been walking around trying to find these kills, but there's been an awful lot of Radiant heroes sitting in vision.
Dire's top tower is
but I think it's just a bit of a fearful Batrider game. Doesn't want to get caught out by relocate and doesn't want to be caught out by axe call.
It's going to be is under attack.
Like I think it's going to be about 3 minutes when this Batrider actually starts helping his team and he gets like a force staff, etc. Just to be able to get away from some of these nasty heroes.
Yeah. And I mean that's a bit of a problem because this is really the kind of stage of the game where you'd want your Batrider to be doing big things and making the space for your cores to push ahead in the farm war, and he's not. I mean, he was the first pick, it makes sense, he was countered quite hard, but I just think that IO Tiny pick, like response to that was just near perfect. Dire invading the Radiant jungle here a little bit. Don't think they're going to be getting pickoffs though, more looking to just rotate in on this bot T1.
So what do you think's coming out in the QoP? Is it just Ags, or is it like first item BKB?
I mean, first item BKB honestly might be necessary here. Like, it's a bit of a tough call. Wraith King in trouble here. Gets hit by the call. And there's going to be plenty of stuns coming in as well. We do have, of course, the Wraith King ulti. But I don't think Dire are going to be able to get in there in time to make a difference. Haxie backing up a little bit farther, letting the Wraith King get taken off by the Yule. Not sure why they're not just focusing him down. Axie, what you doing, friend? There's the toss, finally. They're going to go for the Enigma and get him down. But that was some very, very strange play. Io's gone down, they got off the Enigma and the Quap, so it was a worthwhile trade for Radiant. Going for a Disruptor as well. There's a toss from the Lina, followed into a Light Strike Array, Avalanche. 3 for 1. Did I miss something, or was Tiny behaving a little bit strangely at the start of that fight?
Yeah, he was kind of just faffing around, I think.
Yeah.
He was like, oh, I'm going to save my wisp. Oh wait, they're not going for the wisp. Let's go help my team. Oh wait.
Yeah.
I think it was just kind of general misunderstanding of how the fight was going. Maybe he thought more ultis had been let off than had actually been let off.
Is under siege.
I think the Lina used the Wraith King, and that wasn't a very good play. I think because what would have been better is to just give the Tiny the opportunity to Avalanche as soon as he respawned. But yeah, Tiny was kind of wandering around. It was iffy. It was iffy. But certainly a nice big lead for. I almost want to call them epic. When I look at 5P 1C, it kind of says epic.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Might just call them that. 5 pencils, 1 case sounds a little odd. TP into the top lane. Darum going to help out this Tiny, who's got his Ags up.
Oh yeah, Tiny has Aghanims, yeah. That's going to be a pain for Dire to deal with.
That's a thing. What's the next time, do you think, for the Tiny?
Well, Manta's not good. BKB sounds like a plan, but I don't know whether he needs it this early on. But it's
my
really
thing with Tinies is always the attack speed.
Yeah, he needs to attack speed now, so I'd think maybe AC, but getting a load of armor this game's not really going to help you either, because it's all magical damage.
That's true.
But getting a BKB this early on means that it's going to be 5-second BKBs at 30 minutes, so...
Radiant's middle tower is being
Difficult
attacked.
choices for Haxie. I mean, he could just go for... I mean, maybe the Manta is the way to go. It gives you some kind of all-round stats.
Radiant's middle tower is under siege. Dire's top tower is
Sure,
under attack.
sure.
But you probably
But decent
already
stats, you
knew
get some
that.
attack speed, it's not that expensive of an item.
Dire's top tower is under siege.
And then maybe you can think after that of picking up your BKB at a bit more of a sensible time. Banzi spotting out Never Say No to Otter here, gets the slowdown. And they've got Batrider as well. Yules has been used. But Never Say No to Otter has no way away from this. Oh, but maybe she does as Tiny Io relocate in. Trying to nuke down the Queen of Pain, don't quite get it, but do manage to get the Disruptor ult out. And Banzi going to be finished off by Biryu on the back lines. Finished off by a Skywrath Mage. That's got a smart. Relocate out though from Tiny Io. And this is Dire's time to try and control this fight. Matrice choosing to go for Flox blocks rather than just finishing off Never Say No to Otter, and Enigma taking Skywrath Mage on the back lines. Making it overall a 1-for-1 trade. Yules used on Wraith King. Gonna prevent his advance. That was a little bit messy. Meanwhile, up on top lane, Io Tidy. If you wondered where they went to in the middle of that fight, it was here. Taking down the tier 3. Io is the focus here. Darum gonna be taken down and the kill going to Enigma. But still, what was the damage with that on the tower? 1,170. That's nuts. That's big at 20 minutes into the game.
They might just find Tiny now. This is going to be big.
Oh, where's the stun? There's the stun. But Tiny got his off as well. We get the Thunderstrike down. Toss going to be used on Wraith King, who cannot be standing there for too long. Glimpse back from the Lina. But nothing happening.
Dire's middle tower is being attacked.
Banzi going to get some decent farm over on the mid lane. But what do you do here as Dire? Because I think we're both of the opinion that Radiant have a very significant edge right now. How do you respond to that?
They need to find this Tiny, but they need to find this Tiny when there's no Wisp. And you can't get one or the other. I think it's going to be them in the fights, like destroy them when they relocate in, because that's what they've done every fight so far. But the Wisp relocates up in just in the perfect position, so that there's no black hole to lock them both down. There's no disruptor ulti to lock them both down. It's just kind of like right at the back lines of the fight where the supports are trying to get in, like trying to almost guess where this IO is going to relocate in, but it's just never happening until any of the big ultis are dropped.
Aghanim and Skywrath heading down to bot lane. Flox now looking to move up. I'm wondering where Radiant really look next. I think it's got to be the mid tier 2. What tier 2 just seems a little bit exposed. Sorry?
Lena has Aghanims now, so I'm not sure whether
ouch.
BKB is going to save Pop anymore.
Yeah. And what's Wraith King going for up his Blink pick up earlier? Got the Maelstrom, so he's going for a bit of a flash farmy build. And with the Ogre Club being picked up now, yeah, BKB on the way. I gotta think Roshan soon for one or other of these teams. Neither of them really built for it too well. I suppose actually Dire have a fairly good team for it with the Wraith King Aura and the Eidolons. And immediately going to be dewarded here for the Radiant. Tiny taking up the ancient stacks. And Hagsy does look like he's heading towards the Manta. He's got the Yasha in his inventory already. About enough money for the ultimate orb when he wants to pick that up. And we do see Matrice leading the charge on the Roshan for the Dire team. They really need this, but they can't do it with only Wraith King. Seems they don't want it.
I think they were just fearful because all Radiant heroes were off the map. They're like, oh no, they're just smoking up and coming to walk on over. It's a weird game.
Yeah, it's. I think they need
I think they're currently cowering in fear of relocating, getting blinked, not lassoed, getting blink called, but they're going to go for a lasso on top lane.
Yep, they get Flox blocked and he's being drawn right over to Matrice as well, and Creo J on the Disruptor. Don't seem to want to go for it though. They're being chased off by the IO Tiny with a blink toss. Dead Wraith King. It's that simple, but this might be their opportunity for Hagsy. They're going to drop the black hole for it and catch Durham in it as well. That's what they need. Queen of Pain is trying to make some space and catch some other kills down on the back lines. She's going to find Never Say No to Otter. And there's a glimpse as well, straight into the kinetic field. That's a dead Lena. Well played there from NOTROLL.
0.2 of a second from relocating out, and then he tethered into black hole. Oh, that was dreadful. They could have. Tiny was going to survive that as well, but he just got caught on the outmost corner of that black hole, and he got stunned.
And that was the Enigma play they needed. Like after all the shit talking about the earlier black holes, that one was great. It was close, I agree, Tiny almost got out, but that was right where it was needed.
It's the kind of thing they need to be doing now.
Is it enough, do you think?
Going back for an Aghanims.
I mean, is it enough to change the trend of the game? It's caught them up pretty much entirely in terms of XP and gold. But yeah, is it enough?
Wraith King actually got the streak gold, so he's now sitting only 1k behind the... not even that, 400 gold in net worth behind Tiny, which is fantastic. But I mean, Midas isn't exactly... I mean, it's going to accelerate your farm, but it's mostly for the XP bonus. And he's only got a Maelstrom for flash farming.
It doesn't catch you up to a monster farmer like Tiny. Just because. And it does look like Radiant are going to go for a quick smoke into Roche here. I like it. Someone needs to take this Roche.
They don't know what's up.
Do they?
Yep. Lots of pings being flashed around from the Disruptor.
Yeah, I wonder what did he spot it out with?
They have... Oh no, they don't have a sentry anymore on the high ground.
Well, they were smoked in. Wouldn't make a difference. And you don't get vision in the Roche bit.
Oh, there's no Tiny Wisp fucking on your side lanes.
Yeah, I suppose it's just purely from the absence. And Batrider comes in, gets a lasso off on Durham, but unfortunately gets used, stunned, locked, everything. Banzee comes in, drops the screen, but it's not enough. Batrider buys back, but so far this fight is going all of Radiant's way. Relocate out on the Tiny. That was amazing. He's going to be bringing... I was going to be bringing Tiny straight back in, but he made it out there with about 15 health. And they're back.
It was definitely the play to make, because they only just got hold of the Aegis as well, but now they've got Aegis and 1 life on Tiny.
I'm going to be honest here. I think this is GG. As in within the next
Yeah.
5 minutes, I don't think, unless Radiant make a big misplay, Dire can fight them back here. It's going to be tier 2, then tier 3, then throne. Maybe
They're
tier
gonna
2,
be
then
both
tier 3, then
tier
top,
2
then
as
throne.
well, which means it's going to be more of a siege engine tiny, which is not going to be fun for the Dire at all.
Oh no, they're backing out. My gosh, they don't want to go into all 5. I think they could have. I really do. I mean, they've got to be doing it somewhere in the
BKB
next
on
4
tiny,
minutes
though.
anyway to make use of that Aegis. I guess maybe they farm up, reset a little bit, and then push out on the bot lane. But I think that might just have been greed. I think the decision to back off there was based more on Axe probably saying, "Oh, I want to get my my Ags." Lina saying she wanted her blink. But you know, to make up for that, Enigma has BKB now. I don't know. I would have liked to see him just go. And Batrider running very quickly away after the Dire Ward spots out the IO Tiny rotating into the jungle. Quick hello to Shadow over in the Twitch chat. Don't know what Ego is, friend. But hey. Creo J getting some nice dewarding up in Dire jungle. But I gotta say, Dire don't seem to have much of a plan right now. Farm
Yeah,
is the only thing going on.
I mean, they've got to get the farm which they can get, but they might end up actually picking up Alina, which will be a nice little addition to Wraith King's farm. He's just going to be sitting in the jungle until... Okay, I think they're going to relocate in. Yeah,
Oh, wow, yeah. They caught Matrice there. Beautiful initiation from Never Say Otter, right on the button. It was maybe a little bit too early, but he played it fine. Io, of course, is back out. Matrice now going man to mano a mano against Haxi. And there's only one way that ends. Kill actually going the way of Skywrath Mage. What a sneak. Down on bot lane, Queen of Pain does manage to pick off the IO as he comes back from the relocate, but that's not enough. I don't think.
Not enough to make it worth, or to give any significant advantage to Dire, but maybe it's the way they want to go.
I'm just not sure it's going to be enough to stop them taking top right now. But again,
yeah.
Radiant seem to want to back out. I guess they're afraid of Black Hole, but I don't know.
They have Aegis on Tiny as well. It's
Yeah.
quite a weird move to make, but
And they've only got that for under 2 minutes. Something needs to happen, friends. They need to be grouped up to do something the next time Chinese BKB comes off cooldown. Otherwise, they're not getting any use out of their Aegis. Axie just farming the jungle.
I mean, Disruptor had the right idea when that fight began. He managed to get both the IO, the Tiny, and the Lina into his static storm, but
Invisibility.
Tiny has a BKB now. You need to get a Ags on Disruptor before that actually becomes useful, and he's not going to get an Ags for another long time unless Enigma starts helping him out on this warding issue.
Never say no to auto scouting out this entire Dire team, and a beautiful nuke combo there from
Radiant's
Lina.
bottom tower is being attacked.
She is being chased by the bat, but I don't think it's going to be close enough. Even with 4-staff and blink, that would be only just in range.
What do you think the next item is for Lina?
No, I mean, this new whole mid Lina thing for me is, I'm still, it's good. I'm just still not entirely comfortable with it myself. I feel Slasher would go crit stick, but that can't be right. Actually, maybe.
It's an option.
I could see that actually. Like as I say, I don't know Lina mid, so I'm sure that is the wrong answer according to the metagame. But given that it's an attack speed buff that she gets, and given that they are ahead, and that there'll be a tiny IO drawing a lot of the focus fire, I could honestly see a crit stick. Either that, or if you want to be a bit more traditional, I suppose something like a sheep stick, Shivas, something along those lines. BKB as well wouldn't be useless. I think this is a tier 2 for Tiny right here. It's only going to take him about 5 more last hits. 1, 2, 3, 4, fortify. And Never Say No to Otter is caught out on top by Matrice and Banzee.
Wait, Maybe they're not actually damaging.
They're getting the right clicks down. The Light Strike array hits, and they almost finish off Bad Z just with the Laguna Blade. Not quite enough. Lina the only casualty. Well, I am
So
Tiny.
Slave just lassoed Tiny.
Just because, I guess.
Yeah, it was. I think he was expecting rotations from his team, but clearly a little bit of a communication error, as they only go for the Lina and not for this big Tiny kill on the bottom lane.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a justification for that, and I can't. I'm struggling. Tiny does look like he's picked up the BKB, hasn't actually finished the Manta, just gone for the Yasha, and has now finished the AC, so that will be coming straight out to him. And you know what? I agree with you about the armor, but he's got so much health. Like, the EHP efficiency calculation is definitely in favor of him getting armor more than more health right now. Ignoring the fact that there's a lot of magic damage on the enemy team, which the armor will do nothing against, but just against physical damage he wants armor now, and this is going to be huge. Now I think he wants a tank item though.
Wraith King into going SO or something, just so he can actually start dealing some damage, but I don't think Dasso's the way to go this game, especially for this Wraith King. Like,
Got
he
the Mjolnir
wants
finished.
probably an AC.
AC's nice. AC can be very nice. Or some additional lifesteals, never a bad thing either. The smoke gank misses. The smoke gank goes straight past the side shop where half the Radiant team are just chilling. Tiny does show in lane briefly, so they're going to head straight back to him. I think he's baiting. This is such bait. The BKB is popped, so even though the lasso goes down, they're not going to be able to get any magic damage on him. The Laguna Blade goes down and a whole ton of BKBs. Black Hole goes down as well, catches Tiny and Lina, and that is huge. Tiny is down. Lina is in trouble, and nobody on Dire really in an equivalent problem. Lina finished off there by the Queen of Pain. Axe finished off on the backline as well by the Wraith King. This is huge. Io going to be finished off as well.
They didn't even get Wraith King held down. And there's no buyback.
Yeah.
Is there? No, there's no buyback on Tiny, no buyback on Wisp. Buyback on Axe.
It's not going to be enough to save the tier 2, and I think they'll be off in time for the tier 3 anyway.
Tier 3.
I think. It's going to be close.
Radiant's bottom tower
What's
is
the
under
timer like on that
siege.
Roshan? Just want to throw out that Aegis on Tiny never did get used. I don't think. Did it?
Radiant's
No, it didn't.
bottom tower is being attacked. You might want
I still
to
think they could have won the game right then.
Radiant's bottom
And
tower
Dire are
is
going to back up.
falling.
They're going to check the Roshan. It's less than a minute. I think this might be one of those really sad times when you see the team check it, see it's not there, leave, and then as soon as they leave it respawns. Okay, they've left. Is anybody else going to check it? No. They'll be keeping an eye on it though, I'm sure. Because that is reasonably close to the maximum time that Roshan can take, so they'll know it soon. And yeah, so how do you feel this is gone? That was a big upset for me.
I mean, that was kind of that's how Dire are going to get into this game again. Like, it needs to be, big black hole on at least 2 of the Radiant cores, and then the fight is won. Especially because they had Midnight Pulse down on top of that, which I believe is pure damage. Yeah, so that will cut through Tiny like a hot knife through butter. And I'm gonna take a poke in the dark and say that it's going to be Aghanims next on Enigma, which is going to mean even more damage onto the Tiny, which will be,
Queen of Pain caught out here, gets hit by the Axe, gets hit by the Lina.
Roleplay ends.
Bish bash bosh. She was playing hugely aggressive there, given that Dire don't really have any... Wow, in fact, I was going to say they don't have many wards up. They don't have any wards up. I mean, neither are Radiant, other than this one hugely aggressive one. And Roche is up, spotted out first by Never Say No to Otter. The Eidolon is going to see the Radiant team in the area though. And here comes the relocate. But this is a risky move from them. Io at least is going to be taken out of this fight by the time Dire chooses to contest if they do want to go in. And it does look like they're heading down from the northwest. Creo J And Matrice looking to come in. BKB pop on the Wraith King. Tiny's just going to try and finish off the Roshan. No, he's not. He's leaving. Oh, that's huge. This is a free Roshan for Matrice. And Radiant don't want to do anything because they lost their Skywrath Mage. And I suppose they lost the IO as well.
Enigma Aegis, okay.
Now, if he had Refresher, I wouldn't mind. But he doesn't.
It's a bit of a fishy choice of who to give it.
I suppose the logic is like, Wraith King's coming back
doesn't get
twice.
Black
If he
Hole
comes
off
back
in the
3
first
times,
life,
that's not
he's
going to
got
help.
another.
BKB for Lena, says Davide. That was his guess on that conversation we were having a little while ago. Let's see what it is. Going the exact opposite with Ghost Scepter.
User entered your
The exact opposite.
timed out.
We're going to be seeing Ethereal Blade Aghanims Lena.
That's a lot of damage. Like a lot.
And then it doesn't stack because it's pure, which is annoying, but... And it will also kind of screw over Tiny. I'm not sure what the plan is with the Ghost Scepter. To stop the Wraith King beating down on you?
Slave, smoke popped here by Haxi. He finds him. If they can get this pick off, this is huge. Matrice popping the BKB. He can't man fight this Tiny though, not by himself. There we go, Disruptor ult, Static Field, Scream of Pain, and the Relocate IO is going to bring him straight back into the pot. Banzi just patient. Yep, here we go. Om nom 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 nom.
Those people had families.
You know, I hate to say it. I think 5 Pencils 1 Case might be losing. The first time in the game I've actually felt that might be the case, but
shift.
they're losing.
Look at the gold graphs.
Yeah. This has been mad. They are actually losing. They're not just back in the game or whatever. I mean, you know, Dire aren't just back in the game. They are straight up winning. Tiny's item progression just kind of stopped after that AC. They've had a load of pickoffs recently.
If Tiny buys back now, then I think it might even be game over if Tiny buys back now. Like,
It's Rax over if he doesn't.
all of
And
a
they
sudden.
get a pickoff as well on Biryu. That's huge. Does force out the BKB from the quad, but she's going to go in and look for more on Flox Flox. Backing out though as the tier 3 goes down. They need the damage focused on the Rax. Melee going down first. No, saved by the glyph. I bet Batrider wishes he hadn't been right-clicking the range Rax. But they get melee. They look to back out. Lina had been pressuring mid lane a little bit, but going to get forced back before the tower falls. And TP back over to mid lane to try and help out here with Matrice. They need a whole load of blinks though to catch him. They get a relocate in from Tiny. BKB again popped out from Matrice to avoid the stun. And a stun then dropped on Haxi. Is going to see Wraith King safely out. Both top racks down.
Top rack.
Yeah, go creeps. So, again, how are you feeling? Just to put this in context, Dire are now further ahead on XP than Radiant ever were. So back when we were saying that Radiant had this game in the bag, that they could push this tower down if they wanted to, that, you know, they could have ended this game by now. Well, Dire are now more ahead than they were then. This is big. Enigma now feeling confident enough to farm Radiant jungle. Sorry?
I think we're in for a treat of a game. Because
Yeah.
there's room for Radiant to come back.
Agreed.
From the comeback.
Agreed.
It's gonna be one of those games, Grumble.
One of those games. Enigma's still got the Aegis for another minute or so. Wraith King looking to maybe push a fight on the mid, get this last tier 2 down while they've still got that in the bank. Enigma with a BOT coming out to him as well, but IO Tiny getting some really dangerous split push down. I don't think that I can push on a tier 2 and just sack a Rax in exchange, so they need to send people back. They actually, well, Disruptor gesturing out that they actually try and go for the IO Tiny. Matrice drop in the stun. But there's going to be a relocate out. They did manage to force out the BKB on the Tiny, and of course they'll get the free IO kill. when he comes back. And there we go. Immediately tries to shackle away. Creep wave not quite far enough. And a quick and easy kill. Tiny, meanwhile, he's turned into split push Tiny. I don't hate this. I really don't. But he's got plenty of buyback and still nothing bought out on that Yasha. I suppose he's just waiting for about another, what, 500-600 gold? Then he'll have enough to get the Manta and still have buyback. Haxi caught by Black Hole. Numero 10 just praying his team get there in time, and they do! Beautiful rotation in there from Ban Z. Tiny dead for 83 seconds. He does have buyback, so it's going to be hard to push for Dire. But Wraith King picks off Skywrath Mage. They want to move down now to catch the Lina, but no, they're going to change their minds, push down on the mids. And these are some huge kills. And it's strange, because I don't think 5 Pencils, you know, you're saying they've got these combat mechanics. I completely agree. They seem to... The tiny split push is effective, but they're no longer going for tiny kills. So they're not getting pickoffs anymore. I'm not sure why they just changed the strategy. And they're also not grouping up as 5. Black Hole down now, maybe they will, but might be a little bit late.
Radiant's middle tower is under siege.
Matrice getting big damage on the tier 3 over on this mid lane. No real Radiant presence here to fight him off. They do finally force back the buyback from Tiny, but you know, if you're gonna do it, mate, maybe save your tier 3 with it. Lina TPing in as well. Gonna be looking to blink out. The relocate from Tiny catches nothing. Tiny trying to go round to catch out Slave, and well done. He predicted that well from him. Gets a toss off as well, and that's a dead Batrider. On the back lines, never say no to Otto. Actually glimpsed out of trouble and away from Matrice. Blox comes in with a call, doesn't manage just to catch anyone. But getting some nice right clicks down on the Wraith King. Creo J trying to be the annoying one, and is. I think he's going to stop the Radiant from getting any more heroes. Support life. Oh no, Haxi with a beautiful blink, but he doesn't have Avalanche off cooldown.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Now we do have
beating down on the fours.
yeah. Mega creeps for the win. But I
But
mean, this surely is Radiant's time. Like, they've got to get some damage on this tier 3. Lina should be enough to defend.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
They're buying boots travels.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
They've now got 3 boots travels on Dire.
Dire's middle tower has been destroyed.
That's big. And it's going to be what they need to stop this split pushing
Dire's
Tiny.
top tower is under siege.
Who is about to get the second tier 3
Dire's
down.
structures have been
Still no racks,
fortified.
but the mid tier 3 went down a little bit earlier. Matrice actually just wants to chase into the whole team.
Thanks a lot.
That's a little risky, friend. Rotating up to just now farm the top lane. Co-op farming mid bot.
Yeah, Matrice is going to go back for travels in a sec, and then it's probably GG for Radiant. Like, Radiant are going to GG.
Yeah.
They won't have anything to really deal with the just general, oh, there's creeps in the base, let's just BOT there, let's take a tower and then run. Because, like, Radiant aren't putting that much into pushing out lanes now, because,
Double
you know,
damage.
Dire have actually started turning online all of a sudden.
Mhm.
And that's kind of really throwing Radiant off position.
I mean, it's getting those creeps in the base. I think what they've got to do is, if Dire want to keep creeps out of the base, there's only one lane of racks down, so they can force them back fairly easily. And that's when Dire have to start looking for pickoffs, when the IO Tiny is separated from everyone else. Slave
So that's a heart coming
looking
up
to
for
go
Tiny.
in. Haxi is the target. And Radiant really want this Roshan, but it's going to be a full 11 minutes, so not up for another 2.
Haxi has 4k HP,
That's big.
basically.
That is huge. I was going to say heart try. He needed to tank
26
up. I do like the heart.
Only a 5-second BKB.
Interesting though, he does not have his buyback. That's actually, I think, a bit of a misplay.
He sold the Yasha. Oh no, he bought back. Oh no, yeah, his buyback's on 3 minutes cooldown.
Oh right.
So I think he should be just farming that.
Yep. No, you're right.
But he did sell Yasha, which I'm particularly surprised about, but okay.
Oh, and the sheep stick goes down on Hagsy, followed up by Slip, and oh, relocate out! They'll get the IO, but that's not what they wanted. You don't need 5 heroes to kill IO, friend. Hey, IO.
Dominating.
And finished. So now with a little bit of extra weight from even just one Eidolon, they might be able to push out this top lane, have that head the way they want. Get maybe a bit of pressure up, take this next Aegis, and then push down mid.
I don't think they want to keep Blink on Tiny anymore. I think that item's now useless, but I don't know why he sold his Yasha. I think if he sold his Blink and then went Heart...
Oh, Slave caught out by everything there. Call, Laguna Blade. Nice BKB on the axe here to avoid the Wraith King stun. But they actually don't want to fight this. I don't know. I mean, Yasha's a bit of a tier 3 item. Sanjin, Yasha, and Manta are both kind of tier 2 items. Blink in the right circumstances played well, and he is doing really nice Blink initiations with it. I think, I don't know, to me he's always can be a bit of a tier 1 item.
Well, a Street Manta is like a big, tiny item, but now top lane's not going, okay, no, sending them into the jungle. But I was thinking, especially with the tempo that this game is starting to go to, I'm not sure why he doesn't keep the Manta, because that's what he needs to be able to pull off some crazy backdoor tiny plays.
Yeah. I can see that, yep. Big relocate into the mid-fight. Roshan is up, Dire have been trying to take it, but it doesn't look like they did it quite quickly enough. Hagsy, though, is caught out by the black hole. Don't know if this rotation is going to do it. Ban Z caught out there in the Skywrath ult. Buyback there from Quab and Batrider. They're going to try and come back in, and Tiny finally finished off here by the Dire. So they got 2 buybacks that they've got to make worthwhile here with this chase. Slave catches BU.
What a play by Slave. Did you see that?
Which one?
It was relocators on 1 second, and just as he's zipping into tether, he lands a flame break right between him and Io, blasting Io up onto the cliff and relocating him out.
Yeah, that's nasty. Was that Queen of Pain with Aegis and Cheese? Yep, greediest Queen of Pain confirmed. And was there Sheepstick BKB out on her as well?
Tony has 30 seconds on buyback. They need to push.
Straight down mid, friends. Straight down mid. Wraith King, where you be? He does have BOTs up in 20 seconds. I think that's the right kind of timing they need. But it does mean he's not going to get to the fight before Tiny can buy back. Overtaking the Tiny now by about 5k gold. That's a significant lead. Abyssal AC, yeah, he's scary now. Right, TP in, friend, TP in. He's coming straight in, drops down on the back line of the creeps. They've got Batrider already up on the high ground, scouting out a little bit. And Matrice just begins to go ham, straight down on the melee racks. And it's gone.
Radiant's middle barracks has been
Radiant
destroyed.
Really don't want to buy back this Tiny. I don't know about that. I really don't.
I think it's the understanding that if they back on Tiny, he's just going to die. It's really... like, they need 2 lives on Tiny, not the 1. So that he can just come back and start cleaning up again. But he can't clean up on 1 life. Because there's just, like, a disgusting amount of mobility as well on Dire. So he can't just keep clubbing it all.
The problem is, like, he's 6-slotted. Like, he's not buying any more items. And you're probably right, but it's a bit depressing for Radiant, because their only plan then is basically hold and somehow pray that against all the odds you manage to get the next Roshan, and then pray that against all the odds you can actually do something with it.
Double damage.
Tiny making moves up on top lane. I almost think though that Dire might just trade racks for racks here. They could have Wraith King TP in on the mid lane, loop round, take out the tower, take out the barracks. Radiant are
Dire's top tower
grouping
has
up
been
on top lane.
denied.
Deny from Queen there on the tier 3. I guess without any invisible heroes on Radiant, that's okay.
Creeps in the base again.
Dum 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 dum.
Radiant's middle tower is under
That's a
siege.
very strange effigy. The Treant one in the Radiant base from Biryu. Team too heavy. And looks like the Radiant push up on top lane kind of fizzled out when they began to sense a threat. They're going to back off and just pray for the defense that they can... Oh wow, no, relocate in.
Uh-oh.
What you do, Durham? I think they cancelled the link there,
I'm a
aware that
specialist.
it was a problem, but they should have just cancelled the relocate.
I'm not sure what the plan there was, but
Radiant's
Tiny is stuck
bottom
up on top
tower
lane.
is being attacked.
have buyback.
And Tiny doesn't even have boots.
Radiant
Okay, Tiny has boots now. He
structures
sold
have been
treads,
fortified.
went for BOTs. Hopefully this glyph will hold it for long enough for him to at least be in this fight. Queen of Pain with a big blink, gonna take out Biryu. And Haxi tries to go in here but gets caught in the black hole. He's down. Where's the buyback? He doesn't have it. Those BOTs putting him out.
I'll be my own.
Oh wow, that's game well played.
Under attack.
But there is no way they are getting Matrice and the rest of his team out of this game now.
Radiant's bottom barracks has
That's
been
all 3
destroyed.
rags. Mega creeps on the way, tier 4's
Radiant's
down,
middle tower has fallen.
and a Wraith King kissing your ancient. This is not good. GG from Haxi. They do actually manage to take out the Disruptor. They're going to be able to get one of the lives at least off Matrice. No, they're not. Almost, but no.
Radiant's ancient victory
And
for Dire.
What a game.
GG. Well played. Yeah, that was nuts. Well, final thoughts, Maestro.
It was just a very good game played by the Dire, to be honest. Like, they've just managed to find the right pickoffs at the right time, and like Radiant, even at the start of the game, they were making a few crucial slip-ups, which were kind of knocking them down the ladder a little bit. So that's just how it's like mistakes in the early game just came to bite them in the late game as well. Just because they didn't manage to change that kind of, oh, we can't actually dive this, like, brain aspect. But yeah, what are your final thoughts?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, like, I just... the thing that is just going to stick in my mind with this is that moment where I was like, they can end this now. They just need to push now, with Tiny now. With Tiny being as far ahead as he is, and they'll win. And they didn't. And then from that point on, Dire just suddenly... some switch was switched. And they came back so hard from that point. It was a pleasure of a game to watch. Thanks anybody on stream for tuning in. Please do stay tuned for the next one. I think we've just got the finals coming up next. And yeah, see you guys all soon. Ciao.